Well. Welcome back to Mark Scott's Off the Cuff, where we're going to talk about absolute music, entertainment industry, and the culture in Detroit. I have my guest tonight is a good friend of mine who is an extremely talented entrepreneur, entertainer, musician too. You play music too, don't you? Play an instrument?
No, I don't.
No,
play
you don't.
an
You don't play
instrument.
no instruments. Okay, but he's definitely an entrepreneur, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
he's a good friend of mine, and I just wanted to have him on so that we could talk about some of the things that are happening in our community and in the entertainment culture. Specifically today, I want to focus on the renaissance that's happening in Detroit. And I believe that's what it is, a renaissance. The only thing about it that disturbs me, and if you guys got any comments and you think you want to comment on what we're talking about, you can always do it and leave a comment with WJZZ Cool TV on YouTube. But the revitalization of the entertainment culture in our communities. When when I was a kid, I remember my uncles and my brothers. They would come to Detroit and party. You know, I'm a Flint native, but I've been here in Detroit for 40 years, and it was always like a mecca. You know, Detroit has so many clubs, 20 Grand, Ben, what's that? Ben
Ben's
High
High
Chaparral,
Chaparral.
Henry's Lounge. Was one of the first places I saw the Whispers.
Yeah.
They invited us down to come down and see their show. Put us in the front row. I was a little kid, man. I was so, oh man, my mind was blown. The Whispers, you know, and then you got the Dramatics, and I talked with Priscilla Price in my last show, and she made a mention of that, and so I just thought that it was a subject that I know you were part of during when all of that was happening. 20 Grand. I mean, there was a multitude of venues.
Yeah. Greystone Ballroom.
Black venues where our community went and enjoyed and supported the artists, and Motown was flourishing, and it wasn't the only record label here in Detroit.
No.
It was one that was recognized probably more than some of the others, but there was a lot of big stars that came from other record labels here in Detroit. So it was a mecca. You know, when I was a kid, it was a mecca. And then, of course, the freeways came in and things happened in the culture. I see a renaissance happening now, and I think that we should most definitely be a part of that. When I look back at, I was doing some research of late, and, I was looking at, the way Harlem is now.
Yeah.
Harlem is not Harlem that, like in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
The thriving Harlem.
Yeah. It's not like that anymore, or it's not like that to the degree that it was, when I was, a teenager. So, or even younger. So that's kind of like what I want to do. Again, I'm gonna tell you my guest is Motown Tim Jenkins, Motown Tim.
Yes.
What's the name of your club, Tim?
The name of the club, my club that I'm a part owner of, is called the Perfect Beat. But I'm managing the Raven Lounge and trying in lieu of the Perfect Beat opening back up, and it should be opening back up soon. I can't give you an actual date, but it's soon. I can say soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Perfect. The Perfect Beat.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's that located?
That's in Southwest Detroit, 9145 4th Street.
Mm-hmm. I've been there.
Yeah.
I met you there.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact.
Yeah. But I mean, we had known each other since. But I invited you down with Damon because he came down. But Yeah, I have met you before, and we had with Joe Billingsley, we had did some
I
just
think I met you at
knocking
Burt's, didn't I?
birds.
I know one time I ran into you at
Yeah,
Burt's.
at Birch we
You
talked
were
at
sitting
Birch.
way in the
Yeah,
back.
and doing I was doing the I don't know what was it, the Detroit Black Music Award ceremony or something like
It
that.
might have been. It might have
Yeah,
been.
yeah. And
Hmm.
then I seen you you on the Contours 50th. You sung you and
Hmm.
Cash McCall,
Oh
Priscilla
yeah,
Price.
yeah. I
Yeah,
remember Cass.
yeah,
Cass was an awesome talent man. Did
yeah.
blues.
Blues guy. Yeah,
We got to be really good friends.
yeah.
Before we get started, I want to acknowledge a friend of mine who recently had a passing in his family. He's my musical director, Mr. Stephen Jackson. I want to send my condolences out to him, his wife, his family. Um, Stephen Jackson is a multi-talented individual as well, and I just want to send prayers and condolences out to him, so that hopefully that his family will be able to endure that
Oh
loss.
yes,
That's
most definitely.
yeah, I definitely wanted to say that. You're watching WJZZ Cool TV on YouTube. This is Mark Scott's Off the Cuff. I'm Mark Scott. My guest today is Motown Tim. You got a significant following. I mean, a lot of people know you.
Yeah, well, I've been in the circuit for quite a long time,
Hmm.
and along the way I met interesting people and you know reconnected with people that I knew back in the day.
Hmm.
So yeah, a lot of the Marvelettes, and then you got the new Marvelettes who take, you know, took the place of some of the original
Hmm.
Marvelettes. Of course, Martha Reeves and a good friend of ours, Joe Billingsley, the Contours, yeah. LJ, dramatic. So yeah,
You've been around.
yeah,
You've been around.
I've been through it.
So since I bring these things up because I want my audience to understand that you've watched the culture change. You've watched it morph into whatever it morphed into, and you've seen so much stuff go away, and some of it's trying to come back now, and I hope that it does. I really want to support it and encourage entrepreneurs and business owners to yeah
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
bring that back. I just wanted to know how you felt as you go through your time up to now about how the culture is developing in the city of Detroit, metropolitan Detroit. And when I say metropolitan Detroit, to me, in my mind, that includes Saginaw
Yeah,
Cement. I mean,
yeah.
Detroit is
This is
Michigan.
part of, yeah, part of that, yeah,
Not to
and
take anything away from those other locations,
right,
but it is the largest city in the state.
absolutely. As far as, and especially as far as talent is concerned, it's a plethora of talent in Detroit, and to to be a part of that, is something that I'm proud of. But it's, in other words, too, is to pass that mantle on to the younger people to keep them in the direction that where we were, because I don't think that we really knew what we were doing as youngsters. This was something that I think it was a time for it. The world was ready for
Mm-hmm.
the Motown thing, and so when it came along, we just happened to have
Excuse me.
the people that had a vision
Mm-hmm.
that pushed us along the way. Don Davis, the Barry Gordys, and all those guys
Mm-hmm.
that pushed us along the way, who saw that vision, and it manifested itself in the talent. There's so much talent in Detroit. So you hit that's cornerstone, and is a gushing, something like it was a gold rush it was a talent rush back in the '60s and the '70s, and then it was we were hungry for it. We were hungry for it because the music was for everybody. It
Exactly.
wasn't. Yeah, it
It was
wasn't.
universal.
Yeah, universal.
It actually brought communities together.
Not only countries. Not only did it break down those segregational walls, but countries
Mm.
together. And if you go to other countries, they play the music. You might go into a place and they might play the same record all day, the same record because this is what they want to hear, And you're gonna say, why are you playing that record? Because one hit wonder. They don't want to hear the music of, not to take nothing from a Billie Holiday because she's got so many records, but they want that one hit person with that one record that was a phenomenon. That's what they want to hear. Those are even the vinyl records. Those are the vinyl records that's worth money. Of the people that have just put out one record, maybe two, and it was a hit. So that's. But yeah, like you said, it broke down a wall, segregation, and everything. So, and it was a time for it. It was a time for it. So I think my responsibility is to pass that mantle on to the younger people so they would get it right. We got it, but now it's time for somebody to get it right. We a lot of those big names, and believe me, it was a lot of them. Some of them made it through. Some of them got too big for their own good.
Mm.
And so it's just it was
So now you mentioned the Raven.
Yeah.
Now the Raven is in an area that used to be robust.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, McDougal and then Shane and Forrest.
Yeah.
And
It was a part of the the Black Bottom, but it was a part of the other one. That's
that area that's well actually
Alley, Paradise Alley.
yeah.
Oh yeah, one of the it's a part of that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There were a lot of clubs over there, right?
Yeah. You had Mr. Kelly's, and like you had mentioned, Ben's High Chaparral, and you. Oh man, then that to extend down to the north end, Feltz Lounge, Mr. Eddie Feltz, and then to go a little further, Jimmy's, a little further east. But yeah, that area was where you had a lot of your entertainment as well as your nightclubs.
And you could
know.
just walk around the corner to it.
Yeah.
Everybody knew where the place was.
Yeah.
The area was vibrant.
Yeah, and it wasn't that much to get your advertisement out. You could get on the radio and then for little to nothing, and then even so, the payola wasn't a part of it where you could get your music played and you can get your club. They used to advertise at night. You would hear advertisement about Mr. Kelly's all night, on the radio for little than nothing, anything. So yeah, the people they pushed it, but now everybody is about that dollar. So if you in that neighborhood and you wondering why this business is doing better than other business, because they're willing to spend the money, and the money talks. So. Yeah. So it's you can't really get that even break unless you got the money.
Where's the Raven is on Shane?
Yeah,
isn't it?
5145 Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have live entertainment there.
Live entertainment. The club right now is only open 3 nights a week, and every night they have live entertainment on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday being a open mic night where all the musicians come in. The musicians that want to showcase their talent, they come, and it don't cost them nothing to sit down and they play with the house band, so to speak, the other musicians.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday it's like a show, you know, and it's $10. You know, you can't get a show with the caliber of musicians nowhere in the state for $10. It's probably about the oldest blues club in Michigan that continues blues for 30 years now. They advertise as a blues club, but they also do a variety you know, of music. So it's not only a blues, but they always revert back to blues. So if a person is on there, they had being headlined at the particular club, they would have to have blues on their repertoire. In their repertoire, they would have to have some blues. So yeah, you know.
Okay. All right. And that's so basically what I wanted to get you to comment on was, how do you see the rebirth of that culture in today's market?
Well, like I said, I see
because I don't think that it's foolish to think that R&B, blues, funk, like back in the day, the Funk Brothers and all of that. You know, you would see those things at these smaller clubs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or and like Henry's Palace, they would have major acts.
Sure.
Come
Johnny
through
Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with the 20 grand. Are we going to ever get back to that, you think?
I think it never went away. As general speaking, it never went away, but it's taken a different twist. It's a different twist on it. And like I said, what we had to, and I saw it in the club scene itself. I think what a lot of the youngsters who are really too young to go to the nightclub because of the age requirement, you know, being 21. But I see a lot of youngsters trying to get into the regular. Of course, we couldn't let them in, but they're interested in that type of music. So and that.
Well, you say you couldn't let them in.
Right.
Why couldn't you let them in?
Because you have to be 21 to get into the club.
To be in the club.
To be in the club.
You have to be 21 to perform. If you're just there to perform. I'm gonna tell you why I said that. Because I remember, in Flint there was Detroit had the 20 grand.
Yeah.
In Flint we had the 50 grand.
Right.
Now, I performed at the 50 grand.
Being underage.
I think I was 8 years old. I think I was 8 or 9 years old. And I was the lead singer of our group. At the time it was the Broden Brothers, and then we changed the name to the Marquis. And they kept me off in a room.
Yeah.
In the dressing room.
But you had your adult supervision.
Absolutely. And then I came out, they let me come out, I performed, and I went straight back in.
Yeah.
No pause or nothing. Just straight back in. So I know that at least at that level, it could be worked out.
It could be. I'm not so sure because, and
Not today.
Well, it's because you can be, and don't really quote me, but a person with supervision can even come in a club if they were a parent or something, but they can't sit at the bar.
Right.
So they could sit.
Right, there would be restrictions.
Yeah,
absolutely,
they could sit
at
the. But I don't. I'm not sure about that. But I know to come in and to socialize and to be a part of that. Yeah. So I couldn't let them in.
No.
And you know.
You remember the speakeasies?
Yeah.
What was that, man? I don't really know.
The speakeasies were just after our clubs, basically what they were, and different cities had different names for them. Mm-hmm. So here we call them blind pigs, after hours, whatever. The speakeasies, they were more of musical inclined.
Mm-hmm.
Music, our after our joints, they were gambling and making money, but the
Mm-hmm.
speakeasy they had music and they had shows and they that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
A lot of your old movies feature those speakeasies. Yeah, but
When I got to Detroit, they had these after hour um, events that played house music,
yeah,
all house music.
yeah.
Now, and that they would go to 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. They wouldn't open up until what, midnight or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I think midnight is cutting it close. They about 1:30. They'll be in there getting ready to open up at 2 for
Ah,
that rush. The
ah,
clubs close at 2 o'clock.
right.
But if you didn't have nowhere to go around the corner, Pee Wee was waiting at the door for you to come in to finish your night off. So sometime if you would come out on a Friday, say 9 o'clock, you might not get home until Sunday morning. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So
You
yeah,
ever go to those?
I used to go to after hour joints back in the day, and one got raided, and it got raided, and I didn't go to any.
No more after
But
that.
they still have them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's like it's all about the dollar now. It's not even about the music or nothing. It's about the gambling and the selling of the liquor. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm.
So I remember on Sundays when you couldn't even buy liquor on Sundays, and then they had it where you couldn't buy it until after 12 o'clock
Right,
on
right,
Sundays.
right.
Well, the after hour joint was coming in, and they were selling. I think it was a can of beer for $2 when it only cost like 50 cents in the store.
Mm-hmm.
So the guys that had to have their drink was running down to the after hour joint to get a beer or wine, whatever they had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So you touched on something, and I want to get back to it. Um, right after I do the station ID.
okay.
So we got WJZZ Cool TV, coolest station in the world. Um, if you like what the content that we're bringing to you, we look for you to uh, hit that like button, share, and subscribe to WJZZ Cool TV on YouTube. We stream live on Wednesdays from 7 to 8 on this show, and you can get community feedback and all kinds of stuff related to music and entertainment industry on WJZZ Cool TV podcast on YouTube. So hit that like button, share, and let your friends know about the show so we can continue to bring you informative information. We're going to be reaching out to different areas, states, and so forth. I got some people in San Antonio that I was talking to my director about bringing in, and I'm going to bring that in, and it's another. And these are young aspiring artists, but I definitely want to emphasize the connection of the history of somebody like Motown Tim, who has experience of what was and what can be. So again, you got WJZZ Cool TV. I'm Mark Scott. I'm your host on Mark Scott Off the Cuff. What I want to touch on now, and you touched on it before, Tim, highlighting new talent, turning the reins over to younger people, mentoring them in a sense, giving them the benefit of your experience. I think that experience from people, like yourself, who's in business, can be instrumental in the growth of the culture in this city. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and it's got to be an outlet. It's got to be a place for this, and I'm saying this because now the situation and the economy is it's all about the dollar. So even if you have a venue where you can implement something like this, in order to stay open, to stay ahead, you got there's so many uh, red tapes and certificates that you have to have, and in order to even have a venue for that,
Mm-hmm.
you got to have this kind of license, this kind of license, this, so to even do that, and then you still got to pay the bills, your gas bill, your light bill, to even have a venue to keep it up. So it's difficult, but it's not. It's workable. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can if you got a place and it's doing good, and I think where you touched on back in the day, all those promoters and producers, they pushed you, they shoved you up the way that you needed to go. They didn't try to hold you back, but now it's all about the money. It's all about the money. I think Gordy tells in part of his story that all when he first did, all he wanted to do was get some girls and make a little money, and he didn't have no idea that he was going to be as big as he is. Well, the ball game is different now because I think the guy was touching on it when everybody's making money off of your talent.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have no talent hit, but they know how to hustle, how to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they see somebody with the talent that you have, then they exploit that. Now it's helping each other because they pushing you for you to get your career started, but they got to get something out of it too, and it's where the other person get more out of your creation than you do, then it's something wrong.
That needs to be adjusted
Yeah,
in your
yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Yeah. So how does that affect? How do you do a venue now today, given the talent source? I mean, the music is different.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely, because Detroit is an international city. We get people from all over the world here,
We do.
and they come to Detroit. And I talked to Priscilla about this last week, and she made it. She said that you have to want to do this, and just like what you were saying about all the red tape and stuff with establishing the venue, a viable venue. Um, uh, you have to want to do it, and I think somebody who wants to that wants to open a club, there's a lot involved in that.
Yeah.
It's not just get a building, open it up, put a dance floor in, stage, start working.
Yeah, and I think
You
that's
can
the
explain
mistake.
that.
That's the mistake that a lot of people make. They think that they can have a lawsuit and get $50,000 or invest $100,000 and boom, they got a club. Well, if you Google, read the book, it tells you to even have a successful small nightclub, it's going to cost you $500,000, and that means that you got to have the good entertainment, you got to have what they want, you got to have the drinks that they're drinking, and everything you got to be customer service orientated. You got
Hmm.
to have all of that. So my thing, I was fortunate enough to get with the guy that already owned the building, already had the license.
Hmm.
But as far as the merchandise and the stock, it was 50-50 down the middle.
Hmm.
And so when I came in, we just shared the expenses of running the building and the stock. So whatever we did, we did together. And so when it come time for me to pay on the building and stuff, that's what we did. So that's where I was fortunate at. But if I didn't have that, I could have never came in and had it. And we were successful before the COVID hit. We
Hmm.
were, I think you came out. You came out there, nice club.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, that COVID thing. Um,
Yeah.
I mean that was horrible. The way it was managed, the way it was done,
Yeah, and
it really affected the entertainment industry across the board.
it was did what it was designed to do. I think it was designed to the people that didn't have anything. It was designed to keep them without nothing, and the people that had something, it was designed to make them spend what they got. So, that's just my opinion.
Hmm.
Uh, but like I said, the culture of the music itself, it never went away. People latched on to it. That's why where you get the samples from. People are sampling
Sure.
each other's music. And people say, would you get mad if, and I heard Smokey say, why should I get mad if somebody sampling my music? I took it this far, and here goes somebody else that's going to take it a little bit further, and something that I wrote, he said, yeah, so quite naturally, he's not going to be upset with them.
Hmm.
That doesn't go that he's even better than what he thought he was, for somebody to take his music and take it a step further. They're not getting all the money, because the money is in the publishing, and I'm certain that he owns just about all of his publishing.
Mm.
And yeah, so.
Well, with the connection to Motown that he has,
Yeah,
absolutely, I'm certain of that.
yeah.
Um, uh, Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. WJZZ Cool TV, live streaming Mark Scott off the cuff, right here with Motown Tim. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell all your friends, and share. Um, yeah. So but that's what I want to do, Tim. I want to do. I run KJ Entertainment and LLC, and I'm going to take that and do some things in the near future to focus on new talent and and really just trying to shine another light on the vast talent that you mentioned earlier that exists in the city of Detroit.
And it's certain you have and it's certainly a good idea, and you have the venue to and the talent and the know-how and the fortitude to do all of that. I work with Priscilla, and on several occasions. A friend of ours, he passed, Danny Blue, and they were a real tight. But I had a chance to hire Priscilla to work at my club,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and she was saying, man, she said, that is my area down there, talking about downriver
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
area, and she said, I know the people down there, and I can get those guys to come
She's
out.
an amazing artist.
Very talented.
Yeah, she's an amazing artist.
And
I'm really proud to know her and to be able to call her a friend. She's celebrating her birthday
yeah,
tonight
okay.
at the Double Shot Lounge, 32456 Gratiot. 32456 Gratiot. We're gonna go down there and help her celebrate her birthday. I was at one of her birthday parties, I think a year or so back. COVID was really ugly at that time, and matter of fact,
Well, that was like about 4 or 5. COVID don't seem like it, but COVID has been.
it's been a while.
5 or 6 years.
Yeah, it's been a
man.
while.
Wow.
It's been a while, but I'm gonna tell you, it's still around.
It's
It's
still
just
around.
mutated. It's different now. They don't really know how to keep up with it in terms of vaccinations, but it's still around. And my problem with that is there's so many people that take it for granted, just like they do with. And I don't want to get into politics,
No, I don't.
but it affects what we do, Tim.
Yeah.
People can't come out like they want to.
Well,
and
life as we've known it before then, it'll never be that way
again.
Yeah. And so when you talk about things like that affect your life, you
Mhm.
know, yeah, you know, it sticks with you. So what you try to do is try to maintain the level of thinking that you have and do your own thing and reach for the one thing that has gave you solitude throughout your life, and that's music, good music.
Hmm.
You know, and all music has the potential to be good music. It's just about, I guess, where you are and where you standing at on the map at that particular time.
Hmm.
You know, so somebody will say, well, that hip hop I don't like, but at some point, you know, hip hop might be good. You know,
I like hip
yeah,
hop.
yeah. I like all music.
I do too. And you know, I was here doing an interview back in December with Phase Five,
Yeah.
and there was a statement made by somebody that said, "Well, this music is better than that music, or this guy is better than this person, and this person." And when it was said, I stopped it because I don't believe in that.
Right.
I believe in different. I don't believe in better. Um, I was doing a radio show with um, uh, can't call his name right now. Anyway, he does a it'll come to me.
Yeah.
It'll he does a comparison between this artist and that artist on his show from
Oh.
time to time. Um, his brother played bass for us on tour. I can't call his name for some reason right now. But anyway, the point is that he was asking me in my opinion between Stevie Wonders and Marvin Gaye.
Hmm.
Um, I know the history,
Right.
so I I I can't really to because when he started, Marvin was an accomplished musician, artist. I mean, he pianist,
Yeah.
you know, um, and you know, Stevie was privy to the influences of people like Smokey,
And Marvin.
Marvin, and a number of other people at a very young age. He's absolutely a genius. I know him. He's absolutely a genius. But I will not subscribe to comparing because Stevie and Marvin are two different styles.
It's two different,
I
two
mean,
different styles
two different
altogether.
voices.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you? What are you counting? Like hits? How many? Who had the most hits, or what? I just couldn't do it.
You,
So I told him. I said, hey, I can't really compare the two. And I always make this statement when I talk about artists and people being different. But if I were to, if you put me in a position where you twist my arm and make me choose between one or the other, I would go with Marvin. You know, I mean, and not to take anything away from Stevie,
no, you can't take anything from Stevie
but
because
Stevie's awesome.
yeah,
He's amazing. He would. I mean, when I was growing up, they would call Stevie the eighth wonder of the world. You
yeah,
remember that?
yeah,
You remember that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So absolutely deserved. The man is amazing. But I will not. I will not say that Luther Vandross is a better singer than Teddy Pendergrass. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying.
They're different. How you gonna compare Isaac Hayes to Barry White? What? Because they got baritone voices?
Yeah.
Two different styles.
Two different styles.
Completely. You know. So
And as far as
I don't subscribe to that better stuff. I mean,
as far as Stevie was definitely given a God-given talent. It was a gift that maybe they both have that gift, but Stevie's, I guess, is perpetuated a little. I would say personified because of the fact that he did have. It may be a handicap to me, but maybe not to him, because he did have to overcome singing. Like when he write about something that's blue, well, how do you know? And what is blue to him? Is blue black to him, or is blue yellow to him, or is when he's talking about gray, could it be green?
mm.
So you can't you cannot and on nobody because they they
I don't subscribe to that,
yeah.
even that type of thinking, because um, you know, dancers. Somebody might have a club foot, still be an excellent dancer.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
mean, I just don't.
No, right. I mean, I think we saying the same thing.
Oh, we
You
are.
can't ascribe. You can't subscribe to it because they entirely different, doing the same thing.
Hmm.
You know, yeah, doing the same thing, but
He
they're
says
different
same thing in this in the sense that they are both musicians. They're
musicians.
both singers.
Yeah,
Um,
and they both had hit records, and they both yeah.
but who's to say that a ballerina is a better dancer than a break dancer?
Right. Nobody. Who's
you,
one, somebody that likes ballerina better than they like breakdancing,
right?
but they're still off the you know
What is that dance that the Latinos do? The
Macarena,
samba or something like that.
yeah, the
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, they got this dance.
yeah,
I can't
the
do it.
yeah,
I can't do it, but I can do this other stuff that we do.
yeah.
You know, and but who's to say that what we do is better than what they do? You know, I mean, I just don't believe in that better. You know,
It's different.
I believe in different.
There you go.
You know, and I think it's
agree.
all good. You know, I made a statement to somebody a long time ago, and I said everybody can sing. Everybody. You can sing in the shower. You know what I mean? You can hum a melody to your kids when you know put them to sleep or whatever. Everybody can sing.
Yeah.
Anybody can sing. Question is it marketable? Do you like it, or does somebody else like it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that does not mean that it's not good.
What's the name? Did a retake of the Carpenters song. Bobby Womack did a retake of the Carpenter song "Close to You," and I had that in my repertoire. And when he's doing it, he's doing a monologue, and he said, "Music is music, but is it commercial?" You know, when he said that, you know, the couple, he's saying that's a funny word, especially when the music people do it. You know, he was in there was a producer and an engineer, and when he say, "I like your music," he said, I ain't saying you can't sing." He said, "But you not commercial." So, you know, that's
I did a song on one of my albums called um, "Look Out to the Middle,"
Okay.
and it's a spiritual song. But when I did it, I didn't want it to be. I didn't want the background to be a choir.
Sound.
I
Yeah.
didn't want it to be a finished group.
Mm.
And so what I did was I got my kids, and they were like 5, 6, 7 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I taught them the lyrics,
Mm-hmm.
and they did my background on that song, and I released it that way.
Okay.
You know, and they literally sang the background for my song, and I love the song. You know, it made me feel good to involve my children
Absolutely.
in what I was doing, and they did well. They
Yeah.
stayed in pitch. They did really good,
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Now, when you speak of that, you know, and I, for a long time, brainstorm, I didn't know that was a gospel group, and
Brainstorm?
brainstorm until I met.
Robbie McCorkle played keyboards for that.
Yeah.
You knew him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good friend of mine.
But when I met Belita Woods, who sang
Yeah.
in the groups, then she told me that there was a gospel, and they still have that
Belita was
church
awesome.
going on, that the people, they still have that function of the church. I think the reverend still, but what it was the group, and the hit song "This Must Be Heaven." The way the guy sang it, the guy that wrote the song played bass, but he never got a chance to perform the song with it because he didn't want anybody writing on the song. But the producers wanted they had Belita's part. "I live in on the cloud with it." Those were strings, but he didn't want that. He wanted some words there, and he didn't want want nobody writing on this song. So the producer said, okay. So they told Beli to go in there. She wrote her verses on there, and it became a hit. But he was out the group because he never got a chance to perform it live with him. But he actually wrote the song, and they was talking about it, but the way he was singing the song, oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, and it would sound like he's talking about a woman, but it's about God. Because when she came in, she said, "I'm living on a cloud, waiting for you to come around to show me what to do." That was she was talking to God.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was amazing because she amazed when she told me that, and I was saying, "Wow," because it sounds like a love song.
Mm-hmm. I learned that, and I have to say this. But when I was learning to write I was working down at United and with Don Davis,
Yeah.
and I was learning to how to put lyrics, write lyrics and music and put it together and produce it and all that. And Stevie was a major influence on me in how I write. I don't mind saying it.
Yeah.
I'll say it. And I'm sure he influenced a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
But for me, it was the way he structured his phrases.
Yeah.
And to not be direct, you had to think. You had to actually think to know what he was writing about. I mean, some of the stuff was maybe a little superficial, in my opinion. But his writing skills for me was just so complex.
Yeah, he was light years ahead of his time.
Oh my goodness!
And that's the same with David, because David Ruffin, he told me, he said, man, he said, a gospel song can be an R&B song, and an R&B song can be a gospel song. All you have to do is change the words where you got baby, put Lord, or God, or and it's the same.
I heard that.
Yeah, and David told me, and I said, wow, and he was light years ahead of his time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, he was phenomenal. Yeah.
Mm.
But
well, we're running out of time, Tim.
okay.
I want to thank you for coming through tonight and helping me talk about this. I really want to, focus a lot, and I'm not totally, but I mean, I really want people to know that I'm really interested in the renaissance of the rebirth or the bringing it back.
Yeah.
I mean, because Detroit is a jewel, man, and the entertainment industry in this city is a phenomenon, and it needs to be preserved. And
Absolutely.
I think that people like you make that happen.
And I thank you for having me on, and we get a chance to talk a lot, and when we talk, and I say, especially when I talk to you on the phone, it's like we get into these conversations, and it's hard to break away because there's so much depth that you have, and there's so much knowledge that you bring to me, and I was
come on, man, come on.
Yes, seriously, I was thinking in terms of when and if, and I'm not gonna say when, but I'm not gonna say if, but when you do it, and you reaching out to these youngsters to keep this great phenomenon, what we call music, alive, that you're gonna do it, and I can't think of any better person to do it than you. For one, that you willing to put the time in, and two, that this is something that you love so much that you want to put the time in.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
And it's nothing.
I'm out of time.
Oh.
I'm out of time.
All right.
So you're at WJZZ Cool TV. This is Mark Scott signing off. I want you to hit that like button and see you next week, Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m.